I think we can all agree that the best time to learn that the Twitch app that you rely on to monitor chat, finding out that that doesn't work, it's ideal to learn that the moment you begin a stream. So that was 10 infuriating minutes trying to set this thing up, but alas, we're in it. Sort of. I've cobbled together a technically functional situation. There we go. Almost. I can officially see chat. And I'll have to get this sorted out by the time I do another stream next week, but for now, this works. We're getting back into Arachna. Hell yes. It's all worth it. The hyper-confident Spider-Girl, rather than the weeping, terrified child, Isaac. You're out of the title of this game, Isaac. It's the Binding of Arachna. For today. And the reason my whole app broke down is because I am now officially a Twitch affiliate. And as with all things, they treat their higher tier streamers like even greater piles of shit. To be cleaned up and exchanged for coinage. So I did finally hit that benchmark. Now I can stream whatever I want. Viewership be damned, my metrics no longer matter. In theory, there is one more landmark to go for. That of being partner on Twitch. It unlocks virtually nothing and is way, 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 way harder than affiliate. So I'm not planning to get anywhere near that anytime soon. Affiliate gives you 95% of the features. Pretty much everything I would want to do. And I'm there. Celebrating by playing Isaac, as I would be doing off-stream. Might as well do it on-stream as well. I've been saving Arachna to play as on-stream. Because I like this character. Like showing her off. And look at the lipstick. It's on our Chelicerae. That is interesting attention to detail. It's astounding how detailed this character model is. And how it interacts with all the different pickups. Let's get as many varied pickups as we can. To see what a mess we can make out of Arachna here. And I do have a ton of pickups. I've got like 600 achievements in this game. Every single one of which unlocks something. I did say that I can stream as long as I want. Doing whatever I want without being punished. And it is true. But today I'm only going to stream for about 2 hours or so. Because there's an ongoing event right at this moment on twitch.tv/PowerUpWithPride, a speedrunning marathon. And starting at around 5 o'clock, they've got a bunch of good stuff coming up. Their schedule from that point on is really, really solid. So I'll raid them at that time. Gives us about 2 hours to try and unlock something. So far, I believe, gone the chest route and killed everything up to Blue Baby. So ideally, I gotta get Mega Satan and the Lamb taken care of. Although I might be misremembering, and I might have killed the lamb. Can't rule that out. It has been a week. So anything's possible after a week. And we cannot check in-game. Arachna is very powerful in the early game, and that power tapers off dramatically the deeper you go, because the spool active item does not affect bosses properly. Usually doesn't affect them at all. So, we need good items after a certain point. For the first few floors, we are golden. Do whatever we feel like. But at some point, we do need excellent prizes. Nothing I've collected so far is worth much. Loki's horns is one of the worst pickups. Range up, who cares? That's a throwaway stat. And Undefined is just going to teleport us to random hidden rooms. Maybe I'll get to show off something I just unlocked. I finally beat Delirium as Tainted Eden, which is really difficult to do, but they made Tainted Eden quite a bit better in a recent update. They no longer reroll when you intentionally damage yourself by going into like curse rooms or opening mimic chests and whatever. So you can actually like do stuff as Tainted Eden and still accomplish things. Hey, I got a subscriber, holy shit. Using those affiliate powers already. Glad to have you, Dravenlock. Glorious. Did not expect that to pay off so quickly, but thank you. But yeah, Tainted Eden. One of my favorite characters. The most random character in the entire game. Super fun to play as, and they actually made them more viable. So, I did a little bit of grinding, got past Tainted Delirium. Tainted Delirium? That doesn't exist. I beat Delirium as Tainted Eden. Now that means whenever I find a super secret room or an I am error room, I will have a chance of spawning a glitched item therein. It is extremely rare for super secret rooms like this one. So even if I do enter all the rooms of this nature, I probably won't find any of the glitched items that I just unlocked. Because the hardest unlockables here in Isaac Repentance are close to, if not entirely, useless. They give you, like, an infinitesimal chance of having a slightly better run on your hands than you would otherwise. But it's a numbers game. You just throw yourself at this game thousands of times, and eventually you hit the jackpot. You land on a number that gets you through the entire game relatively easily. I'm going to this curse room because I need a key. I have so much money, and I'd love to spend it. I am one wealthy spider. What do we got? That is going to get us a lot of flies, ironically. I will say, like, the stereotype is spiders eating flies, and I never see that in real life. Like, moths are much more frequently captured by spider webs because they build them around light sources, which attract moths. Never really seen a fly caught in a spider's web. Maybe that's my own failing. I am not going to enter the devil room because that will give me a 100% chance for an angel room in the next floor, I think. Maybe. Let's see. If you do enter the devil room, it splits your percentage chance between the two possibilities. Yeah, it would have been 18 and change percentage chance to get into the angel room. And I want to fight Mega Satan. Never found a key on the last floor, but hopefully I'll find one on this floor. Or rather, I'll find the shop on this floor. I definitely found a key. That much is confirmed. I've had runs where I skipped the Devil Room, and then on the next floor afterwards, I had a 100% chance of finding the Angel Room on that floor. And I don't know why my percentage chance just skyrocketed to guaranteed. To my recollection, I just did everything I just showed you. This time it only gave me a 36% chance. That should still be enough, though. Look at all these spiders. Gotta just go to town with this spool. Use it while it lasts, really. It eventually becomes pretty much worthless. Flying enemies sort of just can't be grabbed by it. I have had instances where I got the goat head and had it guarantee me access to angel rooms. It might have been one of those instances and I just forgot that I was wearing the goat head, because I often do. And I just feel like I'm being incredibly lucky throughout the entire run, when actually I'm guaranteed my victory. This is kind of unfortunate. I just skipped the entire floor, basically. It's also kind of good. It's a mixed blessing. If this run ends up being a train wreck, though, we will know that sooner, thanks to coming to this I Am Error room. I did miss the treasure and the shop on that floor, though, which I would have preferred not to do. Trade a web heart for a web heart, and teleport out again. This is the super secret room, still no glitched item. Like I said, we probably won't see one, ever. It's that unlikely. I have seen a few golden trinkets and horse pills. Two other things that I've unlocked and was very excited to see. Maybe I could get some of those on stream, because they're not, like, so unlikely as to be impossible. Horse pills are especially entertaining because the narrator really, like, he re-recorded all the lines when you get a horse pill to be much, much more impactful. And it is pretty funny. Like, it actually justifies all these terrible narrator voice clips. That's not one of them, unfortunately. But you know the ones I'm talking about. Horse pills definitely look different. They are about 5 times the size of a regular pill. Even if they're sitting in the shop, you can tell that sucker's a horse pill. That was a pretty cool upgrade to unlock. It was horrible to unlock, I will say. I had to beat Mega Satan with Tainted Eve. Tainted Eve is a really difficult character to get a run going. A trillion rerolls. I thought I was done with Tainted Eve too, because I got her, like, Lamb and Blue Baby unlocks already, and I was like, okay, I'm done with this character. I was wrong. Had to get those horse pills. Teleport again. To the same secret room. Undefined tends to do that. It, like, decides on one secret room that it's going to take you to. And then it will do that for the entire floor. I think it's programmed to take you to a random secret room, but there's only 2. At most 3. Usually just 2, though. So, 50-50 chance that it's going to take you to one you haven't been to before. I usually lose that coin flip. I hate the I'm excited pill. Might ruin this upcoming boss fight. Have I found the treasure? I have. It was just 10 bombs, that's right. No wonder I forgot about it. It's disappointing. And the shop was also useless, so let us fight the wretched. Spider v Spider. I turned some of these spiders into my own spiders, though. This will speed things up. I don't like how it speeds everything up, but one way or another, this is ending pretty soon. Yeah, my web is not turning anything into spiders. It, like, doesn't work at all in boss rooms. I have a half black heart here, so let's bomb the room. Just to get this over with. Took like 10 hits. But we got an angel room. What's this? Star Bethlehem? Star of Bethlehem. If you're not familiar with this one, we'll see it in use on the next floor. It's actually pretty cool. Now I need to fight the more difficult form of the angel. Get through them. Still excited. I'm catching every single one of these lasers. There we go. Touching the boss does a full heart of damage. We won't see what Star of Bethlehem does. But that run was trash. I had nothing going. I did like the glass eye effect. That was pretty neat. Just touching as many different items as possible is our main goal. Seeing just how many detailed different things they apply to this character. I believe this mod also changes some of the ways that items manifest on non-Arachna characters. And it might have also changed the way some of the boss variants look. It definitely, like, changed the way boss variants look at the same time as when I installed this mod. It might have been an official update, but it probably was the mod that did it. It's hard to keep track of official updates. Mom's bra is still in this game, for some reason. It's one of, like, 10 items I would normally never pick up, but it's here. I need something. There are so many items in constant competition for the very coveted title of worst item in Binding of Isaac. Obviously, Bob's brain comes to mind. But Bob's brain actually does have practical uses. There are many items that are simply useless or actively detrimental. Odds are pretty high that I will find a few items that I say are the worst item in the game. Really, they're just tied for Z tier. It's a very, very wide tier. There's a whole item quality system playing in the background at all times, which determines how good the items are weighed. And for the first few floors, you are more likely to see tier 0 items. The worst kind. pretty much the entirety of Tier 0 is garbage. And that's Tainted Lost's gimmick, is it has a 20% chance of re-rolling any Tier 0 and Tier 1 items. Tier 2 and higher, it keeps. But it also has a 100% chance of re-rolling any defensive items. So you just can't have those things. And those are the things you would want, because it's the Lost. One-hit kills for the entire run. Miss with my spool. And I could break my last web heart. Why not? I believe this is the better one. Beth has two different trinkets that look almost identical. One just has the cross on top of the heart, and the other one doesn't. And their effects are very similar, but one is just plain better than the other. One will grant us a bunch of blue orbitals when we enter a new floor, and every time we enter a new floor. The other will do exactly the same thing, but only when we enter an angel room. So at most once per floor, but more often 0 times per floor. Oh, look at the magic scab right beneath my eye. Good stuff. Yeah, why not? I'll take Chaos. Chaos almost always screws me over, but sometimes doesn't. Brainworms are fantastic. What was this? Uphill. Shot speed down. Oh, I'm gonna die. I got a Vanishing Twin, so the boss is gonna be 2 bosses. That'll help. But my damage is bad. Arachna's stats are cruel. Cruel, that is to say. 2.8 base damage is atrocious. I don't think any other character has base damage that low. Not that I can think of anyway. 3.0 is considered extremely low for any of the other characters. You have slightly less even than that. Brainworms is basically like homing for our shots. Whenever we miss, it will launch one towards the nearest enemy. Has a random chance of doing that, though. Usually we only get 2 turtlings. I don't know why it sent 3 at us. That's my least favorite variant. Oh, I do know why. Vanishing Twin. Should have been obvious. I can clone this heart. I would like to get a D6 going. Is there a battery in the shop? Yes. Okay, this thing is not changing. It's staying a D1. My D infinity here. What a waste. Still not going in the devil room. Hopefully I just get my damage up. I was tempted to go in the curse room, but that would have been lethal. Stay there. Okay, didn't turn into a cocoon. Interesting. I think they had to get hit with the initial blast of the web and stay in the web till the moment they die. That or get killed by the initial impact of the web. I assume it's a programming error that makes it this difficult to get cocoons to appear. This is a fan mod. Maybe it's intentional, though. Keeps the maximum number of cocoons pretty low. Balanced by being unintuitive. Which is pretty Isaac of them. I'll grant them that. This fan mod really gets the Isaac development theory, as of repentance at least. I think I can clone that. Yes, I can. Didn't help me very much. Just gotta go absolutely berserk with my cocoons. They're my only hope. I guess it makes sense that we would have low base damage because we have so many of these spiders. And the damage of the spiders is based on our base damage. So if we started with 3.5, all of our spiders would also have 3.5, and we'd be doing a lot of damage. Can't have that. It makes Tainted Arachna basically unplayable. Like, we saw the Tainted variant in the last stream that I played through with this character. And, probably won't be playing Tainted version on stream any further. 1.0 base damage. 0.75 speed. Just such terrible stats. No character in the base game has base stats that bad in either regard. So you need just perfect drops for like 5 floors straight to have a even vaguely viable run on your hands. Not likely enough to happen. That would just be like an entire stream of non-stop grinding to get a single run going with that character. No, thank you. I don't think I'm even going to bother with it off stream. They made the character too weak. This fungus shot thing used to be a lot better. Used to be any character that was tagged with the fungus would, on death, explode and infect all the nearby enemies with fungus. And then those characters would explode as well. And it didn't wear off. Like, as soon as you got tagged with fungus, your corpse would explode and infect all the other enemies. The golden coin will... I should show this off, actually, now that I have a bomb. Let us demonstrate what a golden coin does. There it is. Watch the gold one. It slides all around the room. Each time you touch it, it gives you another coin. It can do that for like 20 consecutive teleports. Just bouncing all around the room. So it can be very, very valuable, but very, very frustrating. I like to think of it as like a slippery coin that you can't hold on to. But there is much profit to be found in attempting to hold on to it. If you have a high speed, and Arachna here does have a pretty high speed, it is worth hunting down the golden coins. Especially if you have the counterfeit penny, then each time you touch it can be worth two pennies. That becomes very profitable very quickly. That was for beating Mega Satan as the Tainted Keeper, of course. Tainted Keeper is very fun, but very difficult because it's always 2 hits from death. You can actually get it higher with the Greed's Gullet pickup, but I've literally never had Greed's Gullet during a run. I've had it unlocked forever, and I've never once used it. Because there's like 700 items in the game. I've picked it up, and then died. The last time I got 100% completion, which I think was before Afterbirth Plus. Pretty sure I 100%ed Afterbirth, and then that was it. But like the most frustrating part was filling out the archive. Meaning not only do you have to have everything unlocked, you have to go through the game and find everything you unlocked and physically pick it up. All passive items, all active items, and all trinkets. Which, by this point, that is a huge burden. It's hundreds and hundreds of items. Nearly 1,000. The odds of you finding the 1 or 2 items you actually need are infinitesimal. There is an item you get after you unlock everything, which allows you to choose 1 item when you use it from the entire pool of items you have unlocked. And even that is pretty frustrating. And also you have to find that item. Up, lower the flies onto the web, and then get the fungus to explode them. This used to be a really good item. Then they nerfed it. It only generates about half as many bones and skeleton familiars as it used to. Still a lot better than nothing. Especially in that room, because we killed like 20 enemies. And it activates my dim bulb. Look at that. Now I get to be super powered for 1 room. Want that penny? Maybe. Might be useless to me. Different types of spiders. One of them as a freezing spider. I'm sure at some point I will unlock these other types of spiders to appear for other characters. So far it hasn't happened. I probably have to do something ridiculous. Here's an item I like. Spider Butt is both fitting and quite powerful. So let's keep this Spider Butt. It will also allow us to acquire even more spider friends. All my skeletons are dead. But so too is Baby Plum. We know the deal. Not going in the Devil Room. Forgot to use my spider butt. How about right here? So many spiders. Glorious. That's a new addition, where if you kill something with the spider butt damage, it becomes 3 spiders. Can I get a damage up? Yes. Wait. That might not be real. Yeah, that's a slight damage down. Ah, well. Even a damage down at this point doesn't really matter because my base damage is so atrocious. It affects my spiderlings, but otherwise doesn't matter. This used to be a pretty bad active item that I always avoided. But the fact that it now spawns spiders, I think it's really good. It's like a Necronomicon that also has mass slowdown and also spawns spiders. The Necronomicon alone is worth getting, so it's pretty good. I don't care for the layout of this room. I've never seen this particular room as one to fight. Super Wrath. Pretty good payoff. And I'm lucky the fuse on that bomb was so long. So I ran right into it. Now let's go for this. What do you got for me? I haven't used any pills yet, so I have infinite verps. There we go. Use our fungus to take care of these enemies that I can't deal with my tears. They deal 2.0 damage. That's interesting. The cocoons are bursting immediately. No gestation period. They're not waiting for the room to end. Possibly another programming error? One that works in my favor for a change. Impatience. Could have gone through each step of that room one by one. Didn't wanna. Here's the good stuff. Proc my vibrant bulb. No, my dim bulb. Dim bulb is the better one. It gives you higher stat bonuses when it is active. Vibrant bulb is easier to keep active for longer periods of time. Because the only criteria is just don't use your active item. They patched out that if you have an active item that doesn't use any charges at all, then both the vibrant bulb and the dim bulb will be active at the same time. That is no longer the case. Because it was good. We can't have good things here in Isaac. Everything is terrible. I have infinite keys. Diplopia. I could get it if I blow up the donation machine. But I don't want to use it in that room, because there's nothing particularly good in there. And I don't want to hold on to it, because then I would not be able to keep my spider butt. So, I don't think I want it. There's our secret room, probably. Yep. Come on, good pill. Nope, just 2 terrible pills. And you. I'd never mess around with the key beggars. They take forever to pay out. You need like 100 keys to get anything good out of them. I will do it if it's like super late in the run. I have no other use for keys. And even then, I probably won't bother because it's just so slow and frustrating. Back when Rebirth was in development, Edmund was talking about, like, significantly speeding up lottery machines and random things like that so that people didn't spend 5 consecutive minutes in the arcade. Because he was watching his wife play over her shoulder. And that's what she did. Spend 5 consecutive minutes inside one of the arcades. He was like, whoa, that sucks. I should fix that. And he only sort of did. Donation machines are much faster, and that's about it. Everything else is exactly the same speed as it was back in Flash Binding of Isaac. So he identified the error and decided not to fix it. Unfortunately, if a thing doesn't die from getting zapped with a spider butt, it does not turn into spiders. Even if it dies seconds later.
Full health.
Okay, we actually got a good pill for a change, but it only refills our red hearts, which I don't have. I think I mentioned last stream that that's how they buffed Blue Baby, the playable character, is they significantly increased its damage at the starting line to make up for the fact that having only, like, soul hearts and sin hearts is kind of bad now. But this character only has soul and sin hearts, and also has terrible starting damage. Worst of all worlds. Good thing she's a spider. And can generate further spiders. Making her the best character. Because otherwise she'd be the worst one. Actually, there's no way she'd be the worst one. There are like 5 tainted characters that are worse than this. By a huge margin. There's still a bunch of tainted characters that I have nothing unlocked for. And I may never. I did say that about the Lost once. After about 500 consecutive Lost games with the Lost. And then, I just kept getting bored. Find myself wandering back to Binding of Isaac. The only thing I didn't have unlocked was the stuff for the Lost. Next thing I know, I've got Godhead. Back when that was actually useful. But of course, it also has been nerfed. It's kind of fitting that it has been nerfed. Because at this point, beating everything with the Lost is comparatively easy. It used to be the ultimate challenge. Now, there are so many much harder things. You stay right on that web, y'all. Almost got all of them. Now, if I zap them with the spider butt, they will probably turn into cocoons in addition to turning into spiders. Such that each victim will turn into like 10 spiders. That would be cool to see. I'm sure I'll pull it off sooner or later. This should be maybe the secret room. And if it isn't, I get a free bomb back, but it is. Hey, Green Skullet. Speak of the devil. That should just give us web hearts, though, for every 25 coins we get. And, those are gonna... We're gonna burn through those real quickly. Damn. I never go through the little corners there like you're supposed to with the spikes, because I always mess it up. Oh, this guy didn't get slowed down at all. He's web-proof. This is like the hardest boss in this chapter. I say, destroying him. But I had a big stat boost from the dim bulb. My damage went down further? No, it went up. Then back down because of the dim bulb. So a net loss, but next time the dim bulb activates, I will have very high damage. Yeah, let's do this. Worth it. Bunch of soul hearts. Hate these greed heads. Particularly if they actually hit me and cost me money. And then the worst variant. Okay, they're invincible flies. Pick up a bunch of fungus, which then explodes on them. That's nice. It's surprising how much fungus I'm shooting, because my luck is negative 80. Negative 0.8, but it's still a negative. And being at 0 luck usually means your luck-based attacks simply don't go off ever. Judgment. Get out of here, Judgment Boy. Uh-oh. Cornered myself. Did not mean to verp. Just had a pill in the wrong slot. And I was going for my spool. There's my supposedly good full health pill that doesn't actually do anything. Yeah, plenty of blue hearts. I can gladly waste them going into useless curse rooms. Nice. Bunch of cocoons for me. Join the family, greed heads and maggot-spitting guys. Who needs official names for your monsters? They all have official names, I just don't care to learn them. Oh, after I'd popped this thing, would have been the perfect time. Would have spawned a million spiderlings. That's pretty good. But right now I'm just touching it for the bookworm effect. Eventually, I hope. And over here. Yep, fungus did all the work, once again. Here we go. This is the good stuff. Many spiders. Big brood for the summer. I like how quickly they gave up on trying to vilify the golden orb weavers that were ballooning into America. It was a noble attempt to distract us. No one was buying it. Golden orb weavers are simply too pretty. We welcome our spider overlords. And you agreed. First you ruined my shop. There's a new web heart, though. Lucky me. Oh, wait. It, like, took my 25 coins in exchange for the web heart? I guess to compensate for the fact that it's such a easily destroyed item. Or something like that. Maybe it's a programming error. Can't rule that out. It is weird, though. Never seen that happen with Greed Skullet. Ah, well. Wasn't gonna spend that money anyway, because I just keep getting Greed Rooms. There goes my web heart. 25 cents down the drain. Here we go. Another angel. I wish I had saved. Yeah, let's actually take this and then not fight the angel. Because now I'm going to get an angel room every floor, thanks to the ladder here. Which used to be called Jacob's Ladder, but then there was another item called Jacob's Ladder, so they couldn't have that. Now I still can't fight this one with my dim bulb active, so I won't fight it at all. Or maybe I will. Never mind. Stay next to my freaking bomb. There. Okay, never mind. I cannot hit this thing with a bomb. But I'm gonna have to, because I'm doing just no damage right now. There. That would have been dozens of regular shots. I don't believe this. This thing's been just outside of bomb range for like 10 bombs. Oh well, I'll use my fungus to do all the damage. Just have a nice relaxed stroll through this supposedly stressful boss fight. It's a shame they did this character so dirty in terms of stats. This character would be a blast if it just had typical base damage. It's still fun, but it's so gear reliant. Does not need to be this gear reliant. People feel the need to keep Binding of Isaac as difficult as possible. Does not benefit from it. It was definitely more fun around the time of Rebirth. And it just keeps getting gradually less and less fun. Grinding through the tainted characters for their unlocks has been usually zero fun. Tainted Eden was fun when I was doing that earlier today. Because that character is just plain fun. But for the most part, I have not enjoyed getting my numerous tainted character unlocks. Right now, I just have no damage to deal with bosses. If I don't get something good in the next floor or two, I'm afraid this run will also have to be scrapped. Particularly because this is the last floor in which we will get anything. We can buy things from the angel rooms, but apparently I can't have more than 25 cents in my inventory thanks to Greed Skullet. We'll see if that is a persistent fact next time I accrue 25 cents. Not that that's guaranteed to ever happen. Speed up is nice, but I'm already at the speed cap. Let's use the stars. I'd already used them. Fair enough. Or already been in the treasure room. A lot of 100%ing Isaac is tedium. Like I mentioned earlier, you have to 100% fill the archive. And that is just tedium. There's no skill involved. It is just randomly acquire every separate item in the game at some point. If it doesn't happen, too bad. The first time I got Platinum God, the item that I had not acquired was the prayer card. I remember distinctly. That was the last item I got. And I didn't know it because all it showed on the archive was a question mark. So I just had to play the game like 100 additional runs until I finally found that prayer card. The prayer card has no unlock attached to it. It is unlocked by default. Simply owning the game gets you the prayer card. It had just never dropped in any of my runs. So I had to go back from the start. Play it all over again. My coin count seems to have reset. And I seem to have acquired another web heart. So yeah, I cannot have more than 25 cents at any given time. Right now I have like dozens of items that I've unlocked and have never picked up in the game. And will probably never pick up because I no longer care about grinding out 100%. When I got 100% on Isaac Antibirth. No, Afterbirth. All these similar titles. The first official expansion. You know, it must have been Afterbirth Plus. No, just Afterbirth. Because I remember I had to get Godhead the hard way, which was beating all the bonus bosses as the Lost. Most people went out of their way to get Godhead before the expansion came out, or before they bought the expansion at least. Because there were significantly fewer unlock requirements to that. But I got it the hard way. And then the last item I picked up was called, I forget what it's called. But it's an item with 12 recharge, and it gives you a brimstone blast that lasts multiple rooms in a row. An active item. I unlocked it and then never found it. And I had to re-roll Eden like 70 times or so before it finally randomly appeared in my inventory when I started the game. Because Eden always starts with an active item. So if you need an active item in your archive, Eden's the way to go. Just reroll Eden forever. And you'll eventually get it. Much less efficient to do that if you need a passive item. Most items are passive items. I cannot do anything against this boss. And this is with the dim bulb active. This is one of the hardest bosses in the game, though. They should have nerfed this boss fight by now. It's still much harder than Mom's Heart / It Lives. Simply because it lasts so long. Or it has high boss armor. It's always unclear if it's an actual high HP value or high armor value. Because that's a super arcane mechanic that no one fully understands. So getting the negative now boosts your damage, as well as giving you a passive effect. Oh, I didn't go to the angel room. Whoops. I only have 14 cents anyway. But as we can see, I have nothing going for me in this run. Dim Bulb and Fungus are doing all the work. Which is not a good state to be in. Those are not exceptionally powerful items. They are a garnish to an otherwise already good run. But for me, that's all I got. Add in 2 gluttonies. Wow, that did a full heart of damage. Oh, because I'm on the womb. Well, let's see. Can I actually get a good item? Let's keep going until I get a good item. Which, given my luck, could be 1,000 runs from now. This room is frustrating when you do base damage. Doing less than base damage makes it that much worse. Okay. I can handle this. What do we get? This is an interesting item. This has the potential to be good. Like right here, it's pretty good. Until we get to the second half of the room, because I've used up all my quints. I usually consider a run to have begun when I can one-shot all the tiniest little turd monsters. And then a run is actually good when I can one-shot spiders. That's interesting. When they turn into cocoons, they don't turn into quints. Mutually exclusive death transformations. I, for one, would gladly take Ipecac almost every single time. Definitely didn't touch Ipecac for my first 500 or so hours playing this game. But nowadays, that is one of the better items I could get. Simply because it gives you so much damage. Most of that damage is going to yourself, but you learn to compensate for that eventually. It is a nightmarish learning curve, but it is worth it to get to the other side. Start really making use of that Ipecac. My problem is that I forget that I have Ipecac, and then I start picking up items that make Ipecac much worse than it otherwise is. I recently had a run where I had Ipecac and then I picked up My Reflection, which makes all your shots swing back around towards you after you fire them. There's a whole challenge based around having to deal with that two items in combination. And I chose to take them. Do not do that to yourself. Death card did a lot of work there. And the Quince will help me once I get one of these things dead. But as usual, I got the bolt down to 1 HP instead. Here we go. Now I can fly, and I have a tremendous amount of speed. So that's good. But what I really need is damage. I desperately need damage. Maybe there's some damage inside this locked chest. Can't rule it out. Nope, more HP. And none of those will give me any damage. I can crush enemies with my hobby horse, but that's only once every other room. And only enemies that choose to get in a straight line in front of me. Like so. One spider killed. But with the Quince, we can see like the cascading kills. Once you kill one, the corpses will kill the other ones. That's going to make rooms go faster once I get a single kill under my belt. Provided I don't turn that kill into a cocoon. Oh, here we go. This cocoon also turned into a quint. So maybe they do both occur at the same time. And it's just hard to tell, because the cocoon covers up the little friend that I make. Like, the artwork they did for the cocoon is so good. Like, it's perfectly in the style of this game. The simplicity of Binding of Isaac has made fan mods look usually identical to the real thing. Whenever fans want to emulate it perfectly, they can pretty much nail it. And that rules. It's not a very good item, but it might be better than nothing. I need to go in the devil room, so I can't take that hole in the floor. Granted, I need a run to go really, really well if I want to stand a chance against Mega Satan. And I do want to stand a chance against Mega Satan. That is the main goal for the moment. The bleeding effect that I applied there, I think it makes enemies take damage when they attack. But I honestly don't know. And I've never bothered to look it up. Floor's pretty much done. Let's go for the boss. Ragman. Any damage we do to the rolling head also applies to the boss. Meaning hitting it with a hobby horse dealt like half the boss's total HP in a single blow. Glorious. Useless, useless. Probably stick with the stars if I get nothing else. And I got nothing else, so... let's immediately acquire this floor's treasure. And get a free devil room. Don't even have to clear it out.
The stars.
Not a good treasure. It could theoretically be good, but there are like 1 or 2 items that prove that theory. Not terribly likely to pay off for us. Huge whiff with the spool. I'm starting to feel like the spool doesn't like curve with our movement the way our tiers do. Like if we move left and right while we're firing tiers, it will change the angle of the tiers. I don't think the spool does that. Let's see. I'm moving and let's see. Moving up. And the spool still fired directly straight. So yeah, you cannot change the angle that your spool fires. Good to know. Just wait for the floating head to pass in front of the brimstone, baby. Best hope I have right now. In here, I don't have a key. Yeah, you know what? Get these hearts. Ryan gets some cocoons, but no, they teleport out. Yeah, my damage is cataclysmic, so I have no chance of killing enemies while they're on my web. Yeah, Little Brimstone is really good. It's kind of a pain to compensate for the fact that it lags behind you, or in this case, doesn't move at all. But it's a sort of fun challenge to try and sort out where that Brimstone laser is going to be. I don't mind it. That's still a very good pickup. It's usually pretty cheap when you get a devil room as well. Typically only costs 1 red heart. Stay on the web. They're not turning into cocoons, of course. For whatever reason. Question mark, question mark, question mark. How about you, cocoon? No, not today. Just with every increasing floor, you get less and less cocoons, making this character so much harder with every passing moment. Oh, what I was going to say about how great this cocoon sprite is, though, is that in Antibirth, the fan mod, it was 100% fan-made art in all the assets in that game, that expansion to the game. And when they ported it over to Repentance, they changed none of the artwork. It was all so close to Edmund's original art style that they just left in all the fan art exactly as it was drawn by the fans who made Antibirth. Antibirth was that good. And they only changed the functionality of about, like, half the items. Antibirth was really, really well designed. and see why it was such a huge success. And that's a weird thing that you've noticed there, Dravenlock, which is sometimes I didn't find the room anywhere. It's in this corner here. Last place I could have possibly tried. Sometimes there are multi-phase enemies where each phase, god damn it, will turn into a cocoon. There are, like, for example, big bloated guys. And you can blast their head off, and then their torso off, and then their legs off. And each part you blow off of them will turn into a cocoon if they're standing on the web. But, like you noted, the meat men typically do not do that. It's unclear when an enemy will turn into multiple cocoons and when it won't. It would be great for grinding, though, if the meat men did turn into cocoons when you knock them down into a puddle. Because you can do that multiple times and then let them regenerate. And then break that same one again, and then have a whole bunch of spiders on your hands. This character could have been so much more fun if they just programmed it to make as many spiders as possible. It could be a limitation. With the sheer volume of items in this game, getting synergies working, making items that don't just break instantly is getting very, very difficult from a programming perspective. So fan mods like this one, which is a huge undertaking, becoming significantly more difficult. I'm more than satisfied with it, but room for improvement. My luck is still bad. Let's show off Salvation. One of like 1,000 Angel Room items that have basically the same name, so I always mix up what they do. But Salvation does something very memorable, so I do recall what that effect is. Yeah, there's like Salvation, Redemption, 4 or 5 more in that same vein. I have a really, really hard time differentiating what each Angel Room item does before I pick them up. And sometimes even after I pick them up. But for Salvation, we've got this circle of ghostly thorns around us. Let's slow an enemy down, which is easy to do with this character. This is actually a pretty good combo. Get them caught in the web. It'll hold them still, and then as long as they're touching the Salvation ring, a cross of light will appear on top of them, destroy them and anything else to either side and above and below them. So with our ability to slow down enemies very easily, we have finally got a decent run going. Salvation here is very situational, I would say. But when you can get it to work, and in this moment I can, it's really cool. Like that. Just straight up kill Envy. No problem at all. It looked for a second like I was generating a cross of light from the cocoon. And that would have been busted. Like if I could make cocoons and then generate infinite crosses of light off of them. That would be pretty good stuff. Now the ring is very small. Like it's basically as distant from us as our orbitals are. So you have to get really, really close, which is dangerous. with such a fragile character. And you do have to hold it on them for quite a while. But the payoff is quite strong. There we go. Instant kill meatmen before they can regenerate. I still don't trust these spiky head things. I never liked this enemy type. I think they were introduced in Afterbirth. I've hated them since that moment. Devil or Empress? I'll use one now and one later. Empress gives me less of a damage boost and more of a speed boost. And I don't really need speed. So Empress is less useful for us. Did not get the treasure room, and this is a floor that I can leave, so that's fine. And we're just salvationing everybody. Good stuff. And this is a good item. That gives us like 4 or 5 soul hearts. I forgot to pop my Empress, but that's fine. I'll just use it in the next random enemy room. Completely annihilate it. Horrible night to have a curse. Surely named after one of the best death metal songs ever written. Not at all the NES game that song was named after. Hey, now I can hold this because I smelted my golden penny. Not that I'm gonna see much poops to break down and turn into coins, but whatever. I can always replace it with, like, cancer or something. My first Castlevania was actually Chronicles, I want to say. The one that I did a Let's Play of. Actually, I played Symphony of the Night. Back when it first came out on Xbox 360. So, that was a lie. But that is a very different sort of Castlevania. My first classic Castlevania was Chronicles. And I fully intend to return to that series. Bloodlines is really, really, really good. Bloodstained, I intend to get into. But not the one that everyone loves. Not the Symphony version. But the Castlevania 3 version of Bloodstained is the one I have interest in. Those games have been rather underserved. They have a few speedrunners who are huge fans of them, and otherwise, people tend to forget about them. But that is a big undertaking. Even just, like, casually playing through a Castlevania game is a big undertaking. I don't know how anyone would get through Castlevania 2 pretty much ever, like even right now, with all the information available. How do you play that game? See right there, that guy turned into 2 separate cocoons. Which then resulted in many, many spiders. I'm satisfied with this floor. Let's fight a big spider. We can salvation him pretty well. Here we go. We can't escape the salvation because it forms a cross. That was a nice strong combo. I'm not getting angel rooms though. I didn't have a bomb with which to combat the first angel that I met. So, unfortunately, I might not be able to build the golden key. If we get to fight the lamb, that would be enough. I would still be pretty happy. But I would prefer to be able to fight Mega Satan. Mega Satan would also be easily manipulated with the salvation here. Force him to take a ton of damage with light crosses. So it would be pretty cool to get to him. But also very dangerous. I love that Wrath can blow himself up. He should be bomb-proof, but he's not. I think it's Pride that's bomb-proof for some reason. One with the troll face. Easy to mix up Pride and Envy. Even here in Pride Month. I've never actually played Castlevania 2. I get the appeal. The fans of it have finally convinced me that it is legitimately a good game. After my first exposure to it being the Angry Video Game Nerd's first video. A very, very long time ago. But a casual run of Castlevania 2 without any hints would be so tedious. Because, yeah, you gotta drop holy water on every single tile in every single dungeon, or the game just kills ya. Not even touching the near impossible puzzles you also have to figure out. That was not worth it. I had to know. We can survive having a broken heart. Once again, relying on one item to do all of our work. And not an especially broken item. Just an above average item. If I blow up the baby here, the beggar, big boost to my chance of getting an angel room. Now, it's still only at 25%, and when I move on to the next floor, that will reset. So if that 25% chance doesn't go off, I might be a little screwed. Damn it. I always do that. Run into stationary obstacles because I'm just trying to rush through rooms that I've been through before. Leading cause of death, quite honestly. Lost many, many otherwise perfectly good runs. They're just charging face forward into spikes that were otherwise posing no threat whatsoever. Zap these things. Very nice. I would like this to be the secret room. It's not. If it were, then I could go into the boss fight room. Get a guaranteed item. And I need items right now. Can't take the larynx, because it is active, and I need to fly more than anything else. That's interesting. It looked for a second like salvation was like reaching beyond the circle itself. But actually, the salvation circle has spread out away from my character model. Remember, it used to be exactly right on top of my orbital razor there. But now it is much further out. So I can use it from a greater distance. And I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because I've been using it so much that it is like improved, become a larger area of effect. But it was already really, really good. Now it's better. And it is gonna wreck this fight. Good thing, too. Because the boss is completely stationary. Can't do anything. So I just hold salvation on it. This is a cool item. I'm sure the ring will reset here as I move on to the next floor. Let's see. Yeah, it's small again. So I will need to make use of it. And then it will embiggen. If my hypothesis is correct. Ugh. It's increasingly difficult to speak. I have not been sleeping great. I do not handle the summer very well. And it is not the summer, but it's effectively the summer, weather-wise. The actual summer will be much, much worse. Hopefully, I will get used to it by then. But as soon as I miss like an hour of sleep, my ability to speak gets dramatically worse. I have missed more than an hour of sleep. I guess I'll hold on to the cracked dice, because it is better than the petrified poop at this point. Yeah, I'm in New England, so my summer's relatively mild. But that's relative. It's still gonna get well into the hundreds. I'm at like the lowest point of New England, so it's still gonna get hot as hell. The worst part is, like, I turned on my fan for the first time and it immediately burned out. And I've since been able to replace it, fortunately, but that was a nightmare moment in my life. Very disheartening. Have that be the beginning of summer weather. Yeah, I also bought a dehumidifier because, holy shit, I'm living in soup. Let's salvate the matriarch. Still one of the worst, hardest bosses in the game. I'm not gonna get the angel key. Oh well.
Paralysis.
Judgment. Judgment will probably just give me a, like, life up, which is useless for this character. Instead, kind of want to get the Gimp Mask, but it would not pay off. Nothing on this floor is going to be any good for me. Might have wanted to take the second page. That would have increased the damage of my room clearing effect, I think. I think that's how that works. When you get one of the Necronomicon pages, when the Necronomicon effect goes off, you deal increased damage. Nice. A million spiders. That's the moment that makes this character worthwhile. No matter how bad the stats are. The spool effect is so damn cool. I will also say, if you want to play as this character, it was unbelievably easy to install this mod. Like, if you have not modded Isaac yet yourself, it is integrated with Steam itself. All I have to do is find the Steam Workshop page and search Arachna. And then it's just like 2 clicks, and the character is playable. For that alone, it is worth installing and playing with this character. There's simply no investment behind it. Might as well, quite frankly. And there are tons of other mods. Static was on recently talking about his favorite mods. He has a ton installed. I only have this one at the moment. But he has modded out, like, the chase sequence when you need to go get the key, or rather the knife, in order to enter the true final secret bosses. Can't fault him for that, because I don't care for that chase sequence myself. There are music mods, quality of life mods. I've said it before with Antibirth, but the fans understand this game better than Nicholas does.
Shot speed up. Shot speed up.
Game development is a very delicate thing, especially when you're trying to expand upon an existing game. I was once involved in a forum where one of the members made a bunch of forum games for us. And they were actually, like, really good, unique games that this guy had made. What we didn't realize is that the balancing was really, really good on them. So he would occasionally step out of the forum and deal with, like, college, I think. And in one of those times where he stepped away, me and another person in the forum took over, like, working on the game. And we added new content. And it was cool content. There was nothing wrong with the content itself. But the act of adding additional content wildly imbalanced the game. And we sort of just wrecked a really, really good thing. Made it worse by adding new stuff. So I know how that happens. But it has sort of happened with Isaac. It's definitely not wrecked. But it has become very, very different. In ways that are not always positive. I still really like Repentance. And I do not intend to mod it any further than adding this character and maybe some of the other cool characters. But I do get frustrated with it very frequently. Yeah, I do miss the days where the game was just fun. It's almost like a free-to-play game, which doesn't have like, pay-to-win features. And I'm glad it doesn't. But you would almost expect there to be, like, pay 50 cents and automatically be guaranteed a tier 4 item on every run. Or you could just re-roll 1,000 runs and hope for a tier 4 item. Instead, re-rolling 1,000 runs and hoping for a tier 4 item is your only choice. You don't get to pay to win. I am almost out of HP, unfortunately. Salvation is starting to have that negative effect where getting too close to everything becomes costly. But I will say, in terms of adding content without making things considerably noticeably worse, this Arachna mod adds a lot of content, 20 unlockable items, in addition to 2 new characters, Arachna and the Tainted variant. And from what I can tell, doesn't make the game any worse. All of the changes are for the better. So that's pretty cool. Good job on their part. Granted, at this point, 20 items is a drop in the bucket. You wouldn't even notice 20 new items. In fact, I've unlocked some of them, and I still haven't really seen any of them. On my last hit, though... this boss is probably gonna kill me. Let's find out. I'm really lucky that eyeball didn't shoot any lasers at me. Yeah, I can't use my spool to slow down the heart. Ah, well. So, that's Arachna. Really, really underpowered character. So you need a really good run going. Kind of unfortunate. It's going to be hard to show off any more of Arachna. But I probably will anyway, because I really enjoy playing as the character. And I might as well occasionally come back to Isaac. Do a stream or 2 of it. Gonna be playing it anyway. Might as well stream it. Always a good time. For me, at least. Nice that people show up and have a good time with me. Hopefully I get my technical mess worked out for the next stream. I'm sure I will, though. It's probably something very simple. I just could not log into that app. 2-factor authentication had to be initiated in order to activate affiliate features, and it simply wasn't working, the second factor of authentication. Hell yeah. Thanks for joining me on my first affiliate stream. Let us do as promised. I will raid y'all into Power Up with Pride, the ongoing speedrunning event. And they should be starting with Tunic very, very soon.